Hey guys, it is Super Shaw here, and today is going to be my NFL playoff prediction video. Again, I'm not going to be doing artwork like written out teams for this because I, for some reason, can't find them right now, and I do not have them all. But I do have some of them, but not all of them. They're all going to be written out on a piece of paper of what it looks like. So I'm basically going to start off with the wild card prediction round and advance up until the Super Bowl. And if you disagree with any of my predictions, I'm okay with it, but I just beg you no hate. But I also want you to tell me who you think will go to the Super Bowl. How you think that the how you think the NFL playoff round of 2018 and 2019 will go, and who do you think will advance into the advanced levels, such as the Super Bowl, if they make it. And tell me who your favorite team is in the comments below, and I will get to you and keep you updated. But just, if you disagree, that's okay, but just no hate, please. But let's go ahead and get started. I will do the AFC. NFC will be on the left side of the background. AFC will be on the right. Super Bowl will be in the middle. So let's just go ahead and get started. This is what it looks like so far. So we're going to go ahead and start with the AFC wild card rounds. Let's get started. Our first game that we've got going on here, we have the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Ravens are not going to make it that far because they just do not look completely prepared for Phillip Rivers. He is dominant right now, and I think the Chargers will be taking this, but I think only by like somewhere between a field goal to a touchdown's worth, because it will be pretty close in a lot of these games. But for right now, I'm just going to give it to the Los Angeles Chargers because they are going to be way too overpowered and dominant for the Ravens themselves. So I'm just going to make it easy, go with it, and give it to the Los Angeles Chargers. Next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans. Well, Watson is probably not going to have a good day because the Colts, in fact, that they beat the Titans last week by 16 points, which is quite a bit. Near a blowout's worth. I think the Colts are going to take this game by a touchdown, but I'm not going to give scores in these games because I'm just not a score giver, but I'm just going to say how close it will be. But Texans will put up points, but Colts will put up points too. And they're just going to take the game because they look even more dominant and they look red hot at this point. So I'm going to give this to the Indianapolis Colts because they look like they're going to be the better team. Though they are not the division leader and the Texans are. Texans are not going far in the playoffs at all whatsoever. So Indianapolis will take this game and advance farther in the playoffs. Now we are on to our NFC wild card rounds. This we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Dallas Cowboys. this will be a good game to watch. But Seattle's going to really take over the major proportions of the game in tons and tons of ways that will just make Dallas Cowboys fans sick at home. And for some reason, I just have to give these upsets because they just are not the better team. The Seahawks, however, just look so dominant. I will tell you why. Okay, the Seahawks had a bad start at the beginning of the year. Dallas, not so good either. But the Seahawks lost like 4 out of their first 6 or 7 games. And now they're like 10-6 right now. And they have really shown lots of improvement as the games throughout the weeks went by. Dallas held on though. They only got a little better until they lost a little bit. Though I think they beat Philadelphia a couple weeks ago, but maybe 3 weeks ago, but I'm not really sure. But I think that Seattle's going to take the game, but it's still going to be close. I'm giving these close games because I know that Dallas will have pretty good defense, but Seattle, when they've got, let's just say Dallas will be on offense. Seattle has great defense at this point. They will stop Prescott a whole lot. So I do not know how Dallas will show up. Like, I do not see them showing much in this game. So I think Seattle is going to beat Dallas by somewhere between 8 to 12 points. It's not going to be that good at home for Dallas. So Seattle Seahawks will advance in the playoffs. And last but not least, with our final wild card round, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Chicago Bears in Chicago. If you want to find out who the home team is, just look on the bottom team because that's the home team. The top team will be the away team. So I have no idea whatsoever if Foles will be in the game because he got injured, I believe, last week or maybe this week, but it was not good to watch. I forgot who the other backup quarterback's name is. I think it starts with an S. But I do not see Philadelphia taking the game because I think this is going to be, I do not know why, but I just have a good feeling that this is going to be the one and only wild card home team win, and that's going to Chicago because they've got, by the way, my team would be the Raiders. I know we did awful this year, but it was our fault. We didn't get on the playoffs because we weren't good. If we play bad, we're not going to the playoffs. That goes for any team and every team. But the Bears, with Mac, who we lost, our Raiders lost Mac and Cooper, by the way. And Cooper in the Cowboys game will probably be pretty good, but still I give that to the Seahawks. But back to this game. Mac has been slowing down a little bit, but not enough to lose this game because though the Eagles they've also had a bad start in their year as well. And throughout the middle of their year, they have had some problems, but they held on to be able to make it in here. I believe they're 10-6, something like that, maybe 9-7, but somewhere in there. Bears only have 4 losses. That's because they've been playing really good football. And they've had such a great year and such great improvement since last year. But the Bears, they will show it all in this game. But with the shocking appearance of how close this game will be, I'm going to say the Bears will only beat the Eagles by only by 1 point. But it's still going to be a great game to watch, but the Bears are just going to stay dominant, and they will show their glows and improve. Advance. They've improved enough. They're advancing in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. So I think since Foles, even if he's back, if Foles is back, it's still, let's just say Foles will be back. I think the Bears will beat them by only 1 point. But if the other backup is here, I have a feeling the Bears might beat the Eagles by a lot worse than what I said, like maybe 10 points or so, maybe a touchdown. But I'm just giving it to the Bears because they look a little better and they look red hot right now. So we conclude our wild card prediction round. Let's go ahead and move into what else we've got. Okay, into the second round of the playoffs. First round for the Patriots, because here we have the Los Angeles Chargers, who took over the Ravens, and they face the New England Patriots. In Foxborough, you know how the Patriots are 8-0 at home, and they've got 5 losses? Well, all 5 of their losses, all of them are away games. They are 3-5 on the road. And that's actually, it's good that they've been winning a lot at home, but you can't act like that while you're on the road. But who do I think I should choose? I have a strong feeling directing me to tell you guys that the first home loss for the Patriots is inbound. The Chargers with Rivers and all kinds of other players. And by the way, since I'm a Raiders fan, I am not supposed to like the Chargers. But for right now, I want the Chargers to be good. I'm going to go for them quite a bit because my Raiders are not in. We don't have to worry about the Chargers right now. But the Chargers and Patriots, I do not think Brady will go anywhere close to the Super Bowl this year because they've had 5 losses. And I know Brady is Brady. He will put up points. He's going to run the ball insanatically. But the Chargers defense is charged because they are Chargers. And they're going to really throw the Patriots off by quite a bit. So I think the Chargers will take this by about a few points, but it's going to be pretty close. I just want to say this one thing. Never have 28 points on the board. I will tell you why. It is the cursed number of football. The Falcons ended up with 28 on the board. Let's just go back to Super Bowl 51 once again. They had 28. It was the Falcons and the Patriots. Falcons had 28. Patriots only had 3. Yeah. And you're thinking, oh yeah, Falcons are they're blowing them out by 25 points. You know they're going to win. Well, you know what? I know a lot of you are going to be bored because you already know what happened. But for some of you who do not know, the Patriots had shocked Falcons fans. Falcons were stuck watching them score score after score after score after score after score until it went to overtime, 28-28. Falcons scored no more. Patriots ended up beating them in overtime, the first overtime Super Bowl ever so far. And Patriots took it 34-28. And Chiefs and Chargers played in Kansas City. They had 28. Chargers ended up beating them by 29. And there was another team who had 28 on the board, but that's in college football. I could care less about college football, so I'm not going to get into that because this is NFL. So, I'm sorry if I bored you guys to death, but back to this game. The Chargers take it. They move up to the AFC Championships. Let's go ahead and get to our other Patriots fans. I'm sorry, but this is danger zone for you guys. Chargers look really dominant. So, Chargers advance. Patriots go home. Our next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, this is not going to be good. Colts and Chiefs. Chiefs are probably going to take this big time, without a doubt, because the Colts don't really stand much of a chance against the Chiefs, so I think this is going to be bad. Chiefs are going to be close to blowing them out, if not already. But Colts, they are going home. I'm not going to talk on this game much at all. So the Chiefs take this game immediately, without another word, by about somewhere between 13 and 18 points. Colts go home, Chiefs advance to the AFC Championships. I'm sorry. Now on to our NFC side for the second round of the playoffs. So as first round for the Rams. We have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams. This will be a really good game to watch. But the Rams just look like they're going to be a little better of the team. I really hate to say this to the Seahawks, but they have made it this far. But I'm afraid to say that at home in LA, the Rams will take down the Seahawks. But it's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a really close game. If it's a bad game, it won't go farther than a 7-point lead. Or a beating, whatever I mean. But the Rams just take the game because they look like they're going to be the better team. But the Seahawks, with Wilson, they're going to put up a lot of points. But Rams will put a little more than they will, so I'm sure that with the Rams defense and Donald, they're all going to take down the Seahawks. But I'm just going to leave it at this. The Rams will go to the NFC Championship. So I think the Seahawks have to go home. Rams advance. Our next game would be the Chicago Bears versus the New Orleans Saints. To be honest, I really do not know what to say about this game because the Bears, I really would hate to say this, though they would look red hot, I don't know if they will against Breeze because the Saints just look a lot better. Though they are slowing down just a little bit, it's still not enough to be able to lose against the Bears because the Bears are not quite as better than the Saints. I really hate to shut down the Bears, but it's come this far. They have to face probably the best team in the league, or if not the second best team in the league right now. Saints or Rams, one way or another. But the Saints will just end up taking this team home, and Saints will just leave them at this. And the Saints will advance to the NFC Championships. Bear fans, if you comment on this video, I'm sorry. I mean, if there is another way, Bears probably could take down this team, but it's just impossible for me to see it happening right at this point. The Saints look so good that I can't give it to the Bears, but I'm close. But I'm going to say it's going to be another 1-point game. Chicago would end up beating the Philadelphia Eagles by 1, but then they lose by 1 to the Saints. I just have to say that. So, Bears end up going home. Saints advance to the NFC Championships. We welcome you back to the AFC side. To be honest, I really do not know if this will be in Kansas City or Los Angeles. So it ends up from what it comes down to make it even. So we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. Well, all I have to say is Rivers just looks extremely dominant, but so does Mahomes. I know this is an AFC West battle here, but the Chargers, even though they are not the division leaders, look blue powerful right now and yellow charged. Chiefs, though they look red hot and let's just say white arrowed or powered enough, but I don't think so. Because the Chargers look Super Bowl contender right now, and the Chiefs have lost in the playoffs a whole lot. And it's probably going to happen again. Chiefs would be close enough going to the Super Bowl, but this is where they get knocked out when they're having to face the Chargers. Because Chargers, though they lost to the Ravens a couple weeks ago, that was because they were not playing good football. And though the Chargers beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead, it was because the Chiefs were playing awful. But the Chargers played awful when the Chiefs came and beat them at LA. But right now, I think this is back in Kansas City. But with a major upset, which will horrify and terrify the Chiefs fans and all the players and coaching staff and everybody with the Chiefs. Chargers will end up taking the game and they're going to the Super Bowl. That is what I think. They are going to Super Bowl 53. SB 53. Not SB 129. But the Chiefs end up going home. I have a feeling they will end up with 28 on the board. Which again they will. And then they're going home. Chargers, I think they might have 31. I'm going to give this a score game. Just for fun. But the Chiefs go home. Sorry, Chiefs fans watching this video. Chargers go to the Super Bowl. They advance. That is the end of the AFC Championships, and Chargers go. And now we are on our NFC Championship side. We have the New Orleans Saints versus the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, the New Orleans Saints with Breeze. It's going to be a good game, really good game to watch. But the Rams do not look powered enough against the Saints. The Saints, though they did beat the Rams a few weeks ago, I'm sure it's going to happen again. I do not know if this is in LA or NO, but I just don't know. But I think the Saints take it one way or another, because they look so dominant and they are red hot, though they don't have any red colors. They are still excited for this game, and they will take it. I'm just leaving it with this. The Rams end up going home after a long journey up here, but the Rams' playoff contention comes to a conclusion at this time. So the New Orleans Saints go to the Super Bowl 53. We are now officially at the Super Bowl 53, where our final two best teams officially compete. Los Angeles Chargers versus the New Orleans Saints. By the way, I added this extra bar up here for the Super Bowl 53 champions, right, which will go into this box. I might add a little crown up there if I can. Let's see. Alright, I know that looks weird, but I just made it the best I can. But let's go ahead and get to this game. The most important, the fun game of the year. We have the Los Angeles Chargers versus the New Orleans Saints. This will take place in Atlanta, Georgia. And I myself am not that far from Atlanta. But I just want to say something. This is going to be a really close game for New Orleans. It's going to be too close to travel, which will make it a little harder on the Chargers fans, but there's still going to be tons of Chargers fans there as well. You never know, there may be Chargers fans anywhere, especially Atlanta, but more especially Los Angeles. But the Chargers, is it Rivers and the charged lightning bolts from the left side going up and then back down to the right side? Or is it the Saints with Drew Brees, who has pure gold and black, as white especially? But just tell me in the comments if you do think this is what it's going to look like or end up looking like. Just tell me in the comments down below if you can. Team Brees or Team Rivers. But I'm going to go ahead and get into this game. I have a good feeling this is going to be an extremely scoring game. I have a feeling I'm going to give this a points game. It will be extremely close as well. But do you know what's going to happen? I don't think the Patriots and Falcons Super Bowl 51 Super Bowl will be the only overtime Super Bowl. This is going to be another one as well. I think it will be 41-41. And then in overtime, Saints will end up with the ball. And then they get a massive turnover. And then they get a 1st and goal. But they fail until they're in 4th and goal. And they decide to go for it. But then it just turns out, let's just say they run the ball. Chargers run the ball, and then they have a fumble when they reach the end zone, which ends up in a touchback for the Saints. It shocks Chargers fans. Let's say there is 1 minute and 52 seconds left in overtime. There would be another overtime as well. It doesn't go to a tie. It's even if it goes to 100 overtimes, which we all know it will not. Somebody's going to win one way or another. I think the Saints will just end up with 4th down and 8. And then they have to go for it. They have no choice. They are at the 47-yard line. I mean, their own 47. And they go for it, but no, they do not get it. It's a turnover at the 47, only 47 yards away from reaching the end zone. But they decide to throw a 25-yard pass, and they are at the 22. And then it's eventually, they have, let's just say there's 35 seconds left in the game. Saints fans are just irritated, agitated, however you can say. But they decide to just get some, you know how they take a knee? They decide to take a knee. And then 2nd down reaches. And there's 23 seconds. They knee it again until there is 5 seconds. And then they kick a field goal, a 41-yard field goal, and 38-yard field goal, and they win the game 44-41. I believe the Chargers can do it with Rivers. They are the Super Bowl 53 champions of this year. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you completely disagree with my predictions, I completely understand. But just no hate. Just tell me what you think. And you can tell me that you disagree, and tell me why, and tell me who you think will go to the Super Bowl, and things like that. So I'm going to end it right here. The Los Angeles Chargers, I believe, can be the Super Bowl 53 champions of this year. So I will see you guys later. This is Super Shaw. I am leaving you with this. Bye.